Well, hello there, everybody, and welcome to a brand new edition of On to the Next One. We are back. The matchmaking crowns have returned following UFC 328, a weird event, I think is fair to say, especially that main event. We did have some heaters. We had some results that we're going to talk about for a few days, but in the end, we have a brand new UFC middleweight champion. Not even really brand new, a once again UFC middleweight champion. His name is Sean Strickland. He defeats Khamzat Chimaev, pulls off another big upset, and he is now a two-time champion. Just the second fighter in UFC history to become a two-time middleweight champion, other than Israel Adesanya, and Sean Strickland just going out there and doing it. So we'll talk about what's next for him. We'll talk about what's next for Khamzat Chimaev, Joshua Van, Tatsuro Taira, and much more. I am Mike Heck, and joining me, and I'm curious to get his takes and his thoughts on this event since, you know, he wasn't here watching it with us last night. He told you all already, but AK is here. Alexander K. Lee, my best friend, following UFC 328. AK, we're back living in a world where Sean Strickland is the UFC middleweight champion of the universe.
Crazy. Like you said, my best friend, the only two-timer joining the man he definitively beat for the title the first time, by the way, Israel Adesanya. So we're really raising some all-time great questions here, like where he ranks on the list. Again, we can kind of dig into that, I think, a little bit later. I'm sure you guys will probably have to talk about it on Between the Links. I think we will be dissecting this win, the scorecards, what this means for Khamzat. I think we'll be dissecting it for a while. I think we've got a healthy kind of news cycle coming up to still kind of digest this, because I don't think next week's UFC card is going to overshadow what happened in 328. So yeah, we can keep talking about it. But yeah, I kind of had to get caught up. I was certainly following results, but I had to get caught up with the actual, like, what actually happened in the fights. And damn, man, that's Strickland. I mean, he is tricky. I hope no one just dismissed him. I think we were all in our predictions pretty yeah, even if you're picking Khamzat, boy, I mean, Strickland's just a tough out for anybody. We said after the Hernandez fight, we're like, man, he's going to get the Chimaev fight, and he could win that fight. After what he did with Izzy, you just could never count the guy out. You know, you could say, people know that I don't like a lot of the stuff the guy says. I have my issues with him for sure. I've never questioned his fighting ability. I don't find him that fun to watch. But you know what's fun, Mike? Winning UFC championships, guaranteeing yourself a spot in the UFC Hall of Fame. So however you feel about Sean Strickland personally, the guy is a pretty decent fighter, and his legacy it's right up there. I mean, it's real tough to match, especially if you're just comparing him to this generation of fighters.
Yeah, he's definitely a Hall of Famer now. Now that he's a two-time champion.
I think he was already, honestly. Like most
I
people
actually
who win,
didn't think he was quite
he's
there
borderline.
Yet.
All right.
He was. I mean, obviously he's still got many fights left ahead of him. Sean's not a dude that's probably going to retire until he's like 48.
True.
Seems like one of those guys, but you know, the Izzy win's good. He got badly beat by DDP. That fight was not competitive for 1 second.
The second one. The second one.
First one was close. One of the closer fights you'll watch, but the second one was it was as lopsided as it gets in a title fight. So that stings him a little bit. Him getting knocked out viciously by Alex Pereira. You know, that's obviously, it's friggin' Alex Pereira. My dude might be the first ever 3-division UFC champion come June 14th. Who the hell knows? So, yeah, it's an interesting conversation. He's 100% a Hall of Famer now. Did you watch the fight, AK? Have you watched it?
I watched bits of it. I kind of had to, get things together. But man, so what I saw, there was some. I think a lot of the narratives we expected kind of emerged, maybe in a weird way. Questions about Chimaev's gas tank. You know, we kind of thought, in a way, we thought those were answered in the DDP fight. But I think we also said, boy, was he really pushed that hard in the Dricus fight? And what's going to happen when he faces someone who's a little more squirrely on the ground, maybe a little bit tougher to deal with on the feet? And I feel like we saw that. Then there was all these rumors of him. I don't remember who said it, that he cut 40 something pounds for this fight, which may not be normal. I mean, there's the suggestion that he had been preparing himself to possibly move up to 205, which to me seems silly, but knowing Chimaev is possible. And, and his body wasn't where it should be for a 185 fight. And again, I am not making excuses for Chimaev. These are decisions that him and his team made. These are things that he signed up for. When he shows up and makes weight, he's got to perform. So I don't know. And I know it was a close fight. I don't have an exact score for you. I will say like a lot of Strickland's fights, they're kind of hard to call. Especially this one, which was just all over the place. He was on top of Khamzat in round two. Just
Khamzat pulled guard. He pulled guard in round 2. I couldn't. I rewatched it today. I could not believe it. It was just as weird the second watch, and then I watched it again with the commentary on. And don't do that. Do not do that. Boy, DC and Rogan had a rough go of it.
They're having a rough
go.
3 years.
Yeah, boy, were they bad in this fight. But shout out to John Anik. He might be the biggest winner in like UFC history right now. Just trying to maintain a level of professionalism unseen in the sport. But the second watch, look, I never thought it was a robbery. If you wanted to score for Sean Strickland, I don't think it's a robbery.
You can't call it a robbery. Anyone calling it a robbery is doing it for bait. Like just trying to get engagement
you're being
or something.
An asshole. You're being an asshole.
I just, if you thought Chimaev won, great, for sure.
And I thought Chimaev won. And I thought I scored it for Chimaev in the rewatch as well.
Yeah.
But again, that third, to me, it's the third round. It's how you scored the third round. Do you weigh more heavily Strickland landing some more shots, or do you favor more Khamzat's shots having more impact? Because that to me is what I saw live and what I watched in the rewatch was, all right, Strickland is jabbing him a whole bunch, and there's a lot of times where he was jabbing and Khamzat was blocking a lot of it and had his guard up, or there were some grazing shots, and then Khamzat would land for every like 2.5 jabs Strickland was landing. Khamzat would land like a big shot. And I was just, so to me, like, if we're looking at things through the eyes of damage and impact, to me, I thought Khamzat won the third round, even on the rewatch. But again, it's so close. And I understand why all 3 judges scored that round for Sean Strickland. I understand why a lot of other people scored for Sean Strickland. And I totally understand why everybody was split right down the middle if you go to MMA decisions on the scoring of this fight. It was 50-50, 48-47s, either way. Someone had 49-46 Sean Strickland, which to me is a borderline redonkulous scorecard. That's a bad card.
Well, that'll be what, 2, 3, 4, and 5. I guess that
there's just no way.
There's
just no way.
I'm not saying I agree. I'm just saying if you thought 3 was a toss-up, obviously you give him 2, 5. That's it. I think it looks worse than it is. Like, I think a 49-46 card looks worse than it is.
I think 1 and 4 is like unequivocally Khamzat rounds. Like, I mean, just no doubt about it. 1 and 4 are 1 billion % Khamzat Chimaev rounds.
Oh, sorry. Sean got 2, 3, and 5. Sorry, 2, 3, and 5. 2, 3, and 5. Okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah. So I mean, there's just no world where Khamzat lost 4 rounds of that fight.
Right.
There's just no world. There's just no world. But again, Sean. I mean, look. I think a lot of us had the same read on this fight. He survives, and this is why I kept saying, like, this is why Strickland is such an intriguing matchup for Khamzat, because the dude is a survivor. He is very tough to finish unless Alex Pereira punches him in the face. He's very, very difficult to get out of there. And Sean Strickland is a guy that if you can't get it, you can't put him away early. He is live all the way until that final bell. And that's what happened, man. Like, he was in some tough spots. Like, Khamzat, towards the end of that first round, had his hands clasped together, arms across the friggin' teeth of Sean Strickland, like the same way he broke Robert Whittaker's face, and Strickland got through it, survived, and then the second round happened, and I'm like, okay, Sean Strickland is literally he's going to finish Khamzat. Khamzat's got nothing left in the tank. And then Khamzat comes out in the third round after some advice from Arman Sarukian, and I thought he outstruck Sean Strickland in rounds 3 and 4. Like, it was just crazy. It was such a weird fight, AK. I highly recommend you go watch it. It is one of the weirdest fights based on like how we read it. Like, a lot of it kind of went the way, like, on paper it went, but then if you actually watch the execution of the fight, you're like, what the hell am I watching right now? It's super weird.
Yeah, I watched, but I was like with people, so it was like I wasn't able to fully. So I did watch. It was on. It was not like it was. I was like family social stuff. So some of whom were UFC fans. So anyway, but yeah, there was no real full concentration. I don't want to give a hardcore score of it. I would caution people of, but like you mentioned, the way the stats are Mike, is like, Yeah, I think Strickland, like if you look at the raw numbers, like outstruck him in a bunch of these rounds. But you're right. Thing is, like I think people don't always know how significant stats are counted, and that there has to be some subjectivity. So like someone could like have like 30 significant strikes to 15, and it's like, oh well, the guy who landed 30 won, and it's like, well, no, because a jab is considered as significant a strike as like a hard left hook. Like that's 1-1. In the card. So you really have to watch the fight. So again, if I were watching closer, I would give an opinion. I see what you're saying, Mike, but I do think a lot of people just saw the raw numbers and certainly the on-screen stats. I believe I don't know what the final UFC stats are, but the ones on screen are usually even more a little inflated. So guys, don't use those for scoring fights. Don't use those for scoring fights. Again, if you thought Sean won because of volume, perfectly legitimate. Like we can't tell exactly how much some of those punches were hurting Khamzat. It just kind of looked like you said, Mike, like maybe some of Khamzat's shots were a bit harder, maybe doing more damage. But again, so close, subjective. That's why we have human judges, not robots. And that's how these things are going to go sometimes. Very, very close card.
Yeah, it's tough to look at the stats. I mean, I'm literally looking at Rob Font, Jose Aldo numbers
Sure.
right now.
Yes,
Rob Font like literally like doubling and tripling up Jose Aldo in every single round and got 50-45.
Exactly. And again, sometimes they do tell us, like there's some fights you see a guy, they blew them out significant strikes. Yeah, they killed him. But again, there's other fights where one guy's 15 significant strikes were haymakers and the other guys were like pitter patter stuff. And again, on the sheet, guys, it's counted equally. So, the numbers are a bit strange sometimes.
All right. Well, that's that.
Oh, we have to matchmake now?
We have to matchmake.
How,
Everyone's
Mike?
still torn. Everyone's
How do
still
we do
mad.
this? How do we do this, Mike?
Yeah, I mean, even when Sean Strickland wins, the Sean Strickland fans like can never be happy. It's always like, oh, let's just take this opportunity to dump on everybody and just be negative.
I don't even
on
understand.
social media.
I don't understand,
which is
that.
crazy. Oh yeah, I got people on here being like, oh, there won't be a rematch. There's no way you could do it. Khamzat said he's going to 205. You said it on the post-fight show. Your takes have been awful. I'm like, okay. Khamzat tweeted out that like I'll see you again.
Yeah.
And then Dana White went to a press conference and said, no, he told me he's going to 205. And yet 45 minutes prior, I said that. Super weird, weird. Attitudes here.
I feel like
and people are like, you're just so mad that like the fight didn't go the way you thought it would. I'm like, I literally cashed a Sean Strickland by decision ticket last night. So yeah, I think we're okay with this.
Yeah, I'm only
going one of two ways.
I'm only hurt from a gambling standpoint. I had Khamzat as the last leg of a parlay, so that hurt me. Like I don't.
Yeah.
Again, I don't like
Jed's
Sean
climb ended as well.
I know. God, it's been rough. It's been rough. But like I listen, guys. I know I crap on Sean Strickland's personality all the time, and I will going forward always because he sucks as a human being. But I don't care whether he wins or loses fights, guys. Like that doesn't matter. I don't go, oh, if Khamzat had won a split, I'd be on here like, oh, take that shot. I'm like, no, I don't care. It doesn't affect him.
Shit?
It doesn't change it like how I feel about him as a person. He wins, good for him. He loses, too bad for him. I don't care.
I don't care.
I do not. I gain no personal satisfaction from or disappointment from Strickland winning or losing fights. I thought he did a great job on Saturday night. Again, against someone who everyone was saying was going to run through him. I was going to take Sean down. I was going to crush him. And I think a lot of us knew that wasn't going to happen. But when you finally saw it in action, you're like, yeah, this is why this guy is so tough and is widely regarded as by almost everyone you ask as one of the toughest opponents at 185 pounds. Like it doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't matter what your style is. He's very hard to beat outside of Alex Pereira and the second DDP fight. And those fights both seem really strange. Like looking back at them now, you know what I mean? Like they're exceptions to the rule, right?
Well, what's going on with Sean Strickland now, AK? He's the champion. Khamzat Chimaev is giving mixed signals, telling Dana White, I'm going to 205, but then going on Twitter saying, let's fight again. And the point of me saying that they could just go back to this was because this was a big event for the UFC. This got a lot of interest. This got a lot of traction. People were very much into this. The numbers across the board on this card. This one passed the mom test. I was getting hit up all week by people I haven't talked to in years or people I didn't even know were MMA fans talking about this card. This was a big one for them. So in today's TKO-ified UFC, this, without question, could get run back because of the closeness of the fight. I know there's no real beef here, and we tried to tell you that there is no real beef here, despite some of the things that were said, and the kick by Khamzat Chimaev. The kayfabe ended, AK, because you weren't watching, before the fight. They had 700 security guards in there, and they dapped up like 14 times before the fight even started. It was super weird. Like, we didn't even get to the end before the big reveal of like, we gotcha. But in the end, Sean Strickland is the champion. I think Khamzat probably should go to 205 because that division is awful. And we'll get to Khamzat in a minute, but was this a good night for Nasruddin Imavov? Like, he has to get this. Like, he has to get it. At first, before the whole, when Dana White, I don't believe, look, if those of us who have been around the sport long enough, you believe Dana White 35% of the time. And because that's probably being being pretty generous because he says a lot of things that just aren't true. This I kind of believe could be the thing, and I actually think it's probably better for Khamzat at this point in his career to just go to 205. But is he gonna, AK? Are we going back to the Chimaev well? Are we going DDP getting another shot because he's got 2 wins over him? Does Strickland have any sway here in terms of opponent, or are we going to do the right thing? Because let me just say this real quick, AK, before you make your decision. For those who are looking at a Sean Strickland fight and you want a true rivalry, you want Sean Strickland to fight a guy that actually hates his guts, the only place you're going to find it is with Nasruddin Imavov. He literally hates Sean Strickland. I don't buy that Paulo Costa hates Sean Strickland. I don't think he hates him at all. Nasruddin Imavov legitimately hates this man. So if you're looking for a Strickland actual beef with a guy who doesn't like him, you got to go Imavov here.
Let me make a point here, which relates to answering this question, by the way. I just want to say quickly, I know there's some people in the chat that are, listen, you guys can have your opinions, are being trolls and stuff and saying like, oh, why are we so critical of Sean's, politics and personality? First of all, I feel bad for a lot of Sean Strickland fans out there, like who are part of this cult of personality, because he blew the whole thing up after, and it was just like, I was just joking about, like, I was just selling a fight. I didn't really believe these things I said. So guys in the comments, like, Sean Strickland supporter, don't be mad at me. You'll be mad at your boy Strickland. He's literally just turned on you and said, all this crap that you like believe in. He doesn't believe in it. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry. So I feel bad for you. I hope you guys are doing okay. I actually don't hope you're doing okay because they're terrible things if you actually believe in them. But yeah, that's the problem though with, and I know you and Jed talked about it post fight. It's like, that's the problem with doing this fight again, with running it back. It's like, there should be heat there. But man, when you already go like, yeah, we were just selling the fight and we didn't mean any of this stuff, and you apologize for how you sold the fight, how the hell are you going to do an immediate run back? So add that to the fact that I do think Chimaev, I'm sure he's going to go back and forth on it like a dozen times in the next 6 months. I do think he should go up to 205. Maybe this was a circumstance where he thought he was going to 205, and so his body wasn't where it should be. Maybe, but we know that 205 would be so much easier for him. We know the talent level there is not that high. It's probably what's best for him. So I'm going to go away from the immediate rematch, Mike. Nasruddin Imavov should, if we're just being logical here, should get the fight, but he's been on the shelf since how long now, Mike?
September.
September.
It's not that long
time. That is a long time, Mike. And he didn't have a lot of heat after like
Khamzat was out longer than him.
Well, here's the thing. You asked, did this help or hurt him? I think it's neutral almost. And if you guys have like listened to anything I've said about Nasruddin in the last few months, it's like, I don't think his position was that great to begin with, because the Bahayo fight, a great win, extremely forgettable. I remember after it was over, we're like, well, Imavov must be the #1 contender, I guess, especially after the RDR and Fluffy fight fell through. Then we're like, oh, I guess it's Imavov, because that was supposed to be like a 4-man tournament, and we didn't really get it as it was supposed to be. So I don't think his position was that strong, and I don't think it's much stronger now. I hate to say, I think he's going to have to fight again, and he shouldn't. He's the #1 contender. He should get another shot at Sean, this time at 185. It's not going to happen. Mike, I'm going way out of the box here.
You're
way out of the box. Yeah,
you're doing it, and I love you for doing this.
This I deserve to be booed for, by the way. I don't know about some of the other comments we're making. This one, please.
Chad's gonna be so mad at you because I know what you're gonna say.
Do you know what I'm gonna say?
I think I know what you're gonna say.
It's I don't know. It's the winner of an upcoming fight.
Oh no,
okay.
No, I'm not, now I don't know what you're doing.
It's another rematch. I want to see Brendan Allen get his shot at Strickland again after he beats Edmund Shabazian, UFC Vegas 118 on June.
What?
I'm going way out of the box. I'm going way out of the box. I'm not saying this is what I want to happen, though I think it'd be cool. I just think there's so much weirdness, and I just don't think it's going to Imavov. I don't think they're giving him the shot. They don't care for him, even though you're right. That's like a legit feud that they should try and sell.
I thought you were going a whole different way with this. Who has a way better chance in today's UFC of getting it? I thought you were going to go with Joe Pyfer.
I thought about it.
Joe Pyfer
Absolutely
has a 5 billion times better chance of getting a title shot than Brendan Allen does.
He's doing the UFC a favor with the Edmund fight. Come on, it's all part of
No, he's not.
Yeah, come on.
No, he's not. He's being mismanaged. And the dude just wants to fight somebody. So, like, this is a bad fight for him to take. He might just go out there and lose to Edmund Shabazian. Like, there is a real world that happens. You got to give it to Imavov, man. Like, you just have to. This is such a weird division. And Sean, like, this is all going to kind of depend on Strickland, too. Because Strickland is going to have some sway. If he wants to fight this summer, they could go and do the Pyfer fight. My whole thing, and Jed was against this from day one, was if Khamzat Chimaev wins, he's going to 205, and they're going to do Joe Pyfer versus somebody else for the vacant belt in the main event of UFC 330. Or like the co-main event, now that we know that Islam Makhachev's probably fighting Ian Machado Gary on that card. So I think Pyfer's very much in play after this Izzy fight. He shouldn't be, but we all know how the UFC enjoys him and likes him, and he's Dana's guy. You got to give Imavov his day, man. They're not going to do DDP. DDP's got something else in the works that I'm surprised did not get announced last night. So that fight's going to have some say in this. I don't think Brendan Allen's really in play. The only other guy I think like could end this for Imavov is if Chimaev's just like, you know what? I'm done. I'm staying at 185, which he definitely shouldn't, which leads me to where Khamzat Chimaev is going. And people are going to be so mad about this, but I'm sorry. Again, we are in the TKO-ified version of the UFC where merit means nothing. Rankings don't mean shit. What you did your last fight means nothing. None of this matters. Carl Solberg is currently the undisputed UFC light heavyweight champion. There is a world where he is not that 3 months from now. They just take the belt from him and then give him a shot after. But I think what's going to happen here is the UFC finally has their opportunity to book a fight, and they're going to do Khamzat Chimaev versus Paul Acosta for the interim belt at 205 pounds, even though Khamzat's coming off a loss. I think they're going to do it. I think this is exactly what they're going to do. They're going to need a big fight down the road. Yeah, I like it as much as you do, but this is where we're at, AK. This is it. So, and then the winner of this will fight Carlos Solberg, and we'll unify the belts.
Listen, I got a much better pick for Khamzat. All right, you know what my pick is for Khamzat, Mike. Here's my pick. We're not going to hear meaningful peep from this guy until 2027.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. This dude is going to go 0 dark 30 for a bit.
No, he's not. No,
you don't think so? Listen, we'll still see tweets. We'll still see Instagram posts. We'll still see training footage, blah, blah, blah. He's not fighting again this year.
Okay.
He has not fought more than once in a year since 2022.
Well, maybe if they give him a shot at another belt at the end of the year, he might come back. But here's what I actually think is going to happen. He's not going 0 dark 30. I think he's going 0 dark. There's a chance he goes 0 dark 30 with the UFC. He is going to wrestle for RAF like 100 times this year.
Oh,
he's gonna just gonna do the Armin thing.
True. That's right.
I bet he wrestles in June. I bet he wrestles in July. I bet he wrestles every chance he gets. We're gonna see him a lot in RAF.
Right. Okay. I'm sorry. That's right. He can't disappear because he can be RAF's next superstar along with his boy Armin. This is true. But I think he'll be mostly off the UFC radar. Kind of like you said with Armin, where it's just like we're all like, shouldn't this guy be getting big fights? Shouldn't this guy be in title talks? I mean, finally, at least we know Armin is getting the backup spot for White House, supposedly, right? So I don't know. I don't know if Khamzat gets. Again, I don't know. I just feel like he's gonna, other than wrestling, I think he's gonna take a break from UFC, the UFC atmosphere for now. You will not see him back in the Octagon until 2027. I would be very surprised.
I also want to say, with the whole Armin situation, I don't think they're not going to treat Armin. I don't think Armin is going to be treated as like your typical backup, where it's like he's going to weigh in the day before the White House card. I don't think that's going to happen at all. I think Armin is in that spot in name only, and they're gonna have something's going to have to happen before that fight week happens in order to insert Armin in there. He ain't jumping in 2 days before that fight. He's just not. I just don't think they have. You can't. It's at the friggin' White House. Like, you can't just like bring a dude in on 2 days' notice without all of that. It's just not going to work that way. Like, this is going to be treated as, okay, if Gaethje trips over some wires right now and can't fight, like, Armin's the new main event. What I think will probably end up happening is if something happens with Ilya or Gaethje, like, they'll probably give it like a 13-day period of, okay, once the clock hits 0, like, okay, this is the fight. And if something happens then, we're just bumping Alex Pereira up to the main event. And we're just going to go forward without the lightweight fight. Yeah. There's just too much red tape at this point. What a weekend that's going to be. We're going to get Armin versus Tony Ferguson at RAF, and then probably Khamzat on that card, I would guess. And then we have the White House card on June 14th. Pretty insane. Pretty insane. But yeah, I think Chimaev's going to go 205 and fight Paulo Costa, and it's going to be so silly. Like, even Paulo Costa getting a title shot is super weird.
We talked about it, though.
With one win, he's going to get it.
We said it. Yeah.
He's going to get it.
Fight, we said probably kind of have to do it.
Yeah, but yeah. So Chimaev, do you have an opponent for Khamzat, or are
no,
we just
no? I don't trust.
No, okay, fair enough.
It should be Paulo eventually when he comes back. But again, I don't trust either guy to stay on any sort of regular schedule. They're so unreliable. They take so much time off. I know Costa at least like tries to book fights for himself. I think you're right. Chimaev's going to be featured in RF a lot. I guess hopefully that means you, Mike Heck, may get the chance to actually get like a scrum with this guy, get some answers out of him. But I have a feeling he's not going to give us much to work with. Yeah,
well, I mean, I'm definitely going to the next two. Piers Armin's going to be wrestling in July as well, so probably be there as well. Let's go to the UFC Flyweight champion, AK Joshua Van. Goes out there, finishes Tetsuro Taira, and we're all going to be answering a very important question tomorrow. I'm not going to reveal my answer. Neither are you, AK. We are going to answer, and maybe the chat wants to chime in.
Yeah.
We're going to answer whether or not Joshua Van is the best flyweight in the world after this win over Tetsuro Taira. Of course, Alexander Pantoja was in the audience. Joe Rogan tried to set the tone. Hey, you and Pants have unfinished business. Josh Van cut a Josh Van-ish promo where not even Alexander Pantoja had any emotional reaction to it. It was just, oh, he said things because that's what Josh Van is. Josh Van speaks with his fists. But yeah, there's really no friends forever. There's no other thing we need to do here. Joshua Van's fighting Alexander Pantoja, and I will lead you at this before you speak upon it. This officially is, at worst, I don't even know where I put this. At worst, this is the third most anticipated fight that the UFC can make right now for me, is Josh Van, Alexander Pantoja 2.
And listen, Van said himself, he does nothing but exciting fights. It's a shame we didn't get to see that the first time. But hey, his first actual championship fight with Tetsuro Taira, his fellow Gen Zer, man, God bless him. I mean, I think we thought this would be a really good fight. I don't know if we thought it would be like great. I think we thought it'd be really, because I think we did. I don't know if we thought Taira would have more success with the grappling and dominate some of that. I think, did you pick Taira? We all picked Taira?
I picked Taira. I didn't love it, but I picked him.
Yeah. And we thought, okay, he's going to, he's just a bigger guy. He's a little more mature, right? He's a little bit older. Van is not a bad grappler at all. We just thought like Taira would be able to control him in that sense, do some damage on the ground. We thought he leveled up so much with the Brandon Moreno fight, right? That's what we didn't get to see in the Van Pantoja fight. Because as far as we know, maybe Van would have ran through Pantoja. We don't know. I don't think so. But these young guys level up at such different rates sometimes. I think Jed said this in the previous show. They level up at such different rates. You don't know. There could be like two fights where like he like a minor improvement, and then there's the next fight, boom, a quantum leap in their striking, their grappling, their cardio, their strategy. Like that's what I saw in the Taira Moreno fight. I guess that's why I was so high on him. But kudos to both guys, like toughing it out, showing off, mixing the martial arts. You guys know I don't approve normally, but man, these guys for their age are so incredibly advanced, so well-rounded, so tough. And I just really, I want to see Van Pantoja too. I just want to see Josh Van fight all the time. The guy is so fun. So, that has to be it. That has to be the next fight. Hopefully Pantoja is back sooner rather than later. I just want to say I do have a poll, guys. Who's the number one flyweight in the world? Early returns, Pantoja, but only a handful of votes in so far. Just slight Pantoja, 52%. And I had a poll at the beginning of the show, Mike. How did you score the UFC 228 main event? Most people pretty okay with how it went. Strickland, 62%. 10% draw. 10% draw. I guess if you thought a 10-8 in the first round.
I don't hate that score at all. Because, I mean, I know people have like their own definitions of what a 10-8 is.
Yeah.
If you watch that round, like literally, I've been saying literally a lot today. I'm catching myself trying to uncrutch it.
It's okay. It was last night. It was weird. You and Jed, I think, had to say the word weird like 500 times because there was just so many things that were. It was just weird. It was weird.
Sean Strickland did absolutely nothing but lay on his back in dominant position, like dominant misposition for 5 minutes, and nearly got finished like 3 times. Nothing happened on the Strickland side. Khamzat tackled him, had his back, mounted him, had his back the whole entire round. Like that to me is like nothing. Like it's as dominant as it gets. Yes, he didn't land 135 shots. He didn't do the Ralphie from A Christmas Story like Sean Brady did to Joaquin Buckley, but Sean did nothing and Khamzat did everything. And Pat Sabatini got a 10-9 for doing very little to William Gomi, but Khamzat's round was way more dominant and we're giving it the same score. Like I don't have an issue with anybody scoring that at 10-8. I really don't. So draw is not a bad card either. It's not a bad card. So let's go. Let's keep on going.
But
Van Pantoja. Now Tetsuro Taira.
Taira. Okay, here's the thing. I'm sort of conceding something here. I'm conceding that maybe the UFC is not invested in giving Kyoji Horiguchi a title shot, which is stupid. I mean, they're putting him in COP and the friggin' Apex, which drives me crazy. So I'm not going to wait, Mike. I'm not going to wait for the day like, oh, maybe Taira will win the title someday and then he can fight Kyoji for the title at Saitama Super Arena. I don't know. It's too much to predict ahead of time, but I do want to see them fight. Not at the friggin' Apex. Hopefully they do have a trip to Japan sometime in the next 12 months because win, lose, or draw, I think I want to see Taira versus Kyoji. Yes, if Kyoji beats Cop again, of course you should get a title shot. But like I said, I don't know if they care. Like I just don't know if the UFC wants that to happen. I don't know why. I don't know why you even bring him back if you're invested in him. So you do him and Taira. If Taira wins and Van is still champion, great. I think people would love to see this fight again soon. You don't have to wait that long for it. If he ends up fighting Pantoja, that's great too. And if Kyoji ends up getting the title shot, I'll be happy. I think it's a no-lose scenario, unless you're really, really, really intent on protecting Taira or Kyoji for whichever reason, and I don't see why you should be. So, yeah, give me that. Give me that dream Japanese matchup, the future versus the legend.
Before Taira fights again, they need to like tie a rope around him so his hands stay like this. And like for a month straight, he cannot do anything else. He has to eat his food like this. Everything has to be like this because he had his hands down at his ankles anytime he tried to strike with Josh Van. And Josh Van literally hit him as hard, literally again, but that's what happened. He hit him as hard as he could 1,000 times because Taira couldn't put his hands up. It was so frustrating to watch because Taira is a dog and he battles so well, but he just had no defense on the feet. It was unbelievable to watch a guy fight for a world title and he blocked every punch with his face, every single one of them. And was very close to getting finished in the second round and then ends up getting finished in the fifth. But this is what we're going to do. We're going to do Tetsuro Taira versus Vinny Siggs.
Oh,
this is what we're doing.
Okay.
Because we're going to give him a guy who will punch him very hard, who is pretty decent off of his back. Not spectacular, but pretty decent. He's got a pretty decent get-up game. And a guy who gave Pantoja a very tough fight, who has a very similar style to Tetsuro Taira. I think that's why Taira was a kind of a popular pick, because he brings a lot of intangibles that Pantoja brings to the cage as well. Pantoja's obviously a better defensive striker and just probably a better striker overall than Taira. So I think we will learn some stuff from this fight. I would pick Taira to win, but I think we will learn some things watching him bounce back and try to fight a Vinny Siggs. So
yeah,
I would go with this.
I think that's the right test. Vinny coming off that nice win against Tim Elliott. Yeah, this is kind of where Vinny's role is. Like, he got that title shot early, but I think it's fair to say somewhat of a gatekeeper right now. Somewhat of a gatekeeper. Maybe we can revisit that in 12 months. Maybe get some big wins, upsets Taira, and yeah, I don't mind that fight at all. Yeah.
Let's go to Alexander Volkov, AK. Took on WCA. I would say a workman-like decision against Waldo Cortez Acosta.
Nice.
Maybe the easiest heavyweight over one could ever imagine betting on. But that is kind of what happened here. Volkov wins. Some people thought WCA won this fight. I had fantasy implications. I had my money. I had Jed and I's fantasy head-to-head, all on Waldo Cortez Acosta, and even I felt a little biased saying that WCA won that fight. Volkov gets it done. Dude is screaming from the rooftops he wants a title fight. Is he getting it, AK? Is Alexander Volkov's next fight going to be for the UFC heavyweight title or some share of the UFC heavyweight title?
Man, I don't know if that's possible. No, really, no. And I say this with him having been in that sphere, like in that range for really the last few years. Even after the Cyril Gane loss, like it was just such a close fight. Some people thought it was a robbery that like it didn't push him that far back in the line. He's a bit of a hard sell. I don't know, again, from a casual standpoint, obviously there's just not a lot of like, there's not, Volkov Mane isn't really a thing. And there should be more respect for this guy. He's fought a lot in the UFC. I think this was his 40th pro win. Guys, that's tough. Even at heavyweight where we say, fighters can last longer just because, the drop in athleticism and speed doesn't matter as much. 40 wins? 40 professional wins. You know how much could go wrong? And he's been fighting in high-level promotions for a long time. So huge congrats to him. I just don't know if he can get this fight because we have, of course, Pereira and Gane fighting for the interim. In a perfect world, they fight Tom Aspinall, hopefully before the end of the year. Again, we don't know when Tom Aspinall is going to come back. We just still don't know. But hopefully that happens. I don't know if Volkov is going to want to wait all that time because that's not a title fight in 2027 for Volkov. If he thinks he can wait, he'll be waiting until next year. I don't know if he wants to do that. At the same time, there's another heavyweight fight on the White House card, Mike, that I'm sure the winner of that thinks they might get it, or at least one of the winners. I don't know if, Derek Lewis and Josh Hockett. I don't think Derek Lewis would expect to get a title shot. Josh Hockett, we've said this many times, is really, really making a speed run to the heavyweight title. But again, I think he would have to wait for Aspinall. So, Mike, give me Volkov versus the Derek Lewis Hockett winner. Of course, a rematch with Derek Lewis if that were to happen, which we have called for many times. So I have no problem with that. And Josh Hockett would be a very, very interesting matchup.
It's kind of not even really a friends forever because that's it. I mean,
you kind of have to.
There's nothing else you could do.
No, they can't wait. None of these guys can wait. I feel like Tom Aspinall should get the shot at Gane or Pereira.
Yeah, Volkov's fighting one of these other guys. And that's just kind of it. So. Weird spot for Volkov to be in. He should be fighting. He should be in the fight at the White House, if we're being honest. He got screwed by the Cyril Gane fight. And like if we're playing merit and who deserves what, Volkov's probably at the top of that list. But yeah, he's fighting Hockett or Lewis, and that's that. Let's go to Sean Brady. Needed a bounce back against Joaquin Buckley after getting finished by Michael Morales. And good Lord, man, he was not in trouble for a tenth of a second in this fight. He just beat the brakes off Joaquin Buckley, just trapped him for 15 minutes. Buckley had no answer. This fight was mired by controversy all day long with the betting lines swinging in Sean Brady's direction. Brady said he got contacted by the UFC saying, y'all good? He said, I was. And clearly he was, because he just beat the soul out of Joaquin Buckley and probably ended any chance Joaquin Buckley ever fights for a UFC title. Great win for Sean Brady. I don't think he's going to like where I'm going with this. He's going to fight another guy from this card. He's going to fight a guy who, in my opinion, shout out to Sean Strickland and Joshua Van and all the other winners. This was the best dude on the card. This was the best fighter at UFC 328. This guy had the best performance at UFC 328. We're doing Sean Brady versus Yaroslav Amosov. That's the fight.
I think we can cue up the band. No?
Sure.
Okay.
Sure. 3, 2,
you guys ready?
1.
Friends forever. Yes. Yeah. That's a smart way to go. Amosov, like you said, Amosov deserves it, man. Any skepticism over whether, like, I've seen some sort of revisionist history that his 27, 28-1 record, before coming to the UFC was like, a lot of like weaker opponents in there. And I'm sure maybe the first, 16, 17, 18 guys, but there's a lot of fighters you could look at the early stages. I think he fought decent comp in Bellator. Sucks he lost to Jason Jackson, but I think Jason Jackson's really good. So like, I didn't hold that against him as like, oh, Amosov was exposed. I'm like, no, he lost to another, in my opinion, top 15 welterweight. Bounces back, picks up a win in the regional scene, looks great against Neil Magny. And then boy, Joel Alvarez, intriguing opponent, and just took him out. So good for him. Good for Sean Brady. Buckley thought training with Usman. Might help that takedown defense a little bit, Mike. Wasn't great. Wasn't
No.
great. Could be better still. Maybe a few more rounds with Usman. Maybe he'll get it, but that was tough to see. So yeah, let's take these two guys who are certainly not out of the title picture. You know, Sean Brady saved his life in that regard, and Amosov could be a fresh challenger coming up. And boy, with that grappling, he's a threat, man. He's a real danger to make it all the way to the top.
I have to put this out there because I think we could all learn from this. If your argument is that no one on the commentary team said round 1 was a 10-8 round, you're making the wrong argument. I mean, you're truly making the wrong argument. And because Anik knows the scoring better than literally anybody. Anik knows the scoring way better than DC or Rogan do. Like combine DC and Rogan's knowledge on scoring of MMA fights outside of 25 years ago. Anik has them beat by ×5.
Yes.
Because he goes to the meetings, he knows the rules, he knows how to score, understands what's important and what isn't. You know what I mean? So don't go with that argument. You got to find something else, please.
With respect to TK Stan, who's been kind of arguing a bit with Jed in the comments about the score, the 10-8 round, I now see where the misunderstanding is. Like, if you are getting your scoring information from Rogan and Cormier, like if that is how you are, if that is why you are, I think, incorrect in this aspect. I would say, look, it is weird. Like, they do like tweak the language a lot. I would say, look at it's not all about damage now. They've kind of expanded the term of damage. Like, I never liked it when I always said I'm fine with them not counting submission attempts, but now they said yes, submission attempts should sort of count towards damage. It is like draining the the spirit or whatever, draining the, I can't remember, that might be the old wordage, but yes, it is not as much like, oh, well, you have to do damage overall. There is a stronger like element of control now and stuff like that. So please do not listen to Rogan and Cormier. I do not think that, like,
don't listen to really any of the color commentators unless it's Laura Sanko or Paul Felder.
Yeah. Yes, really, that's it. Honestly, there you go.
I mean, that's truly what it is. Like, listen to them, and those are the only ones at this point. So Brady versus Amosov rocks. It's a great fight, and there you have it. The other thing is, I don't know why we're arguing about scoring anyways. It's nobody's fault. MMA scoring is dumb. The fact that they're basing it off a boxing model is really stupid. So why are we even fighting about this? It's just a really dumb way to score mixed martial arts bouts, but it's never going to change. So there you have it. There's no reason to get angry over it, really, is what we're trying to say. Let's go to King Green, AK, who probably kind of put the final nail in the Jeremy Stephens fighting for the UFC coffin here. I don't know why he was back anyways. I don't know why he was in this fight. I don't know why he was on this card. Shout out Jeremy Stephens. This is not a damning of Jeremy Stephens. It just seems super weird. Bring him back for the Iowa card. That makes all the sense in the world. But throwing him in the main card opener of your most coveted and most promoted events thus far before the White House was certainly a choice. And throwing him in there with the guy who the whole world knew was just going to obliterate him, it was just weird all around. Yet Larissa Pacheco can't fight in the UFC again, which is super strange. But King Green just crushed him. This fight was not close, not competitive. It was one-way traffic. It was probably worse than the betting odds could have suggested. Jeremy Stephens also missed weight by a whole bunch. And despite King Green getting some cool performances, pulling off a shocking upset of Daniel Zellhuber and finishing him, going out there, beating up Jeremy Stephens, the man still can't get a bonus. Like, he's got to get a $25,000 bonus. But did you hear what Dana White had to say?
I heard he's getting he's getting a very, very nice gift, I heard.
He's getting custom fight shorts in lieu of this bonus he did not get. So, there you have it. But what are we doing with
priceless?
Priceless. That's right.
Priceless.
Yeah.
Take your 100K bonus, Jim Miller. Okay, you're not getting. I've never seen Jim Miller's not getting custom shorts. Yaroslav Amosov 100K. You know what? You guys gotta buy your own custom shorts. King Green's getting them for free.
That's right.
I hope they're free anyway. It'd be funny if they just designed them and said, "Oh, by the way, can you send $20 or?"
What are we doing with King Green here?
What are we doing with King Green here? I like Beneil Dariush. Why can't he fight Beneil Dariush? I think when after the Selkild loss, a lot of suggestions I got were just like, let's keep using Dariush to like build up and comers, which fair. That might, like, Beneil Dariush might just be a number right now. that for people to take. But then I thought and I was like, okay with that after Perth. But then I thought about after this card, and I'm like, yo, age appropriate matchmaking. And I can't believe these guys have never fought. They were booked long time ago. So let's let them do it.
I'm giving King Green what he wants. He wants Renato Moicano. I'm giving him Renato Moicano.
Oh, I still feel like Moicano. They should like rebook the Brian Ortega fight. That's the reason why I didn't pick Moicano. But yeah, that makes a ton of sense too. Age appropriate.
Yeah, I'm kind of over the Ortega thing until he actually gets into
where is
this
he,
fight.
dude? Where is he?
I don't know, man. He's doing interviews with Dominic Cruz and telling all. He's sharing everything. So get Moicano. Jed was bringing it up during the watch party. He's like, why don't we do King Green versus? Why can't King Green fight Conor McGregor in the comeback fight?
Why not?
I actually love that idea.
I would.
Or Jim Miller fighting Conor McGregor in the comeback fight. Like, I love that idea.
They deserve it
way more than Max Holloway.
Yeah,
way more.
These guys deserve the Conor fight. They have put in so much. They deserve it.
Yes. Let's go to the wild card round. Then we'll turn it over to you guys. We're going to select one fighter we've not matchmade for yet. We'll matchmake for him right now. AK, who's your wild card fighter coming out of UFC 328?
Hold on, I have to respond to a troll in the comment. I know it's bad. I'm just telling him to shut the F up. You know, I'm being very nice.
Yeah, please shut the F up.
I'm being very mature. I feel, you know, I just want to engage in intellectual discussion here, and I feel like that's the best way to respond. No, I'm kidding. Cooking Combat, shout out to Cooking Combat in the comments. I don't think we're agreeing on anything, but thank you for watching the show. Thank you for sharing your opinion. We need to give some love to Pat Sabatini, Mike. I know it's not the most exciting fighting style. Okay, it's not the most exciting fighting style. I get it. He's not going to be on a pay-per-view main card anytime soon.
Maybe ability? No, he ain't getting on the main card.
Maybe with this opponent. Listen, 4 straight wins. Good ones, too. Jonathan Pierce, Duranson Brito, Chepe, and now William Gomi. These are good wins, man. These are good wins. Not top 20 guys.
Are you doing it?
I don't know if I'm doing it. I have to shout out to Efrod, one of our regular contributors, because he did suggest this last time, and I don't know if I thought of this only because he suggested it. Let's give him Zalal.
Oh, yeah. I was not ready for that.
Yeah. I want Sabatini and Yusuf Zalal. Again, for either guy, I think this is great. Sabatini could actually crack the top 15. I think he's been maybe like in the UFC's official rankings. I swear he's had a number next to his name, maybe like 13, 14, 15. I could be wrong. If he hasn't, this is his chance. Zalal, listen, tough fight with Aljo. I still think he's a guy who could contend for the title someday. Back to the drawing board, tough opponent. Let's see if he can kind of take this weird stylistic matchup on, because that grappling's gonna put to the test, that's for sure.
I thought you were gonna go with the guy that I picked to Yusuf Zalal to fight coming out of that loss to Aljo, and the guy that we wanted William Gomi to fight. I thought you were gonna go with Theron Pico versus Pat Sabatini.
I feel like we've matched up Pico a bunch of times, so no, I don't know if we want to see that, but
yeah, we gave him Gomi, and then Gomi got booked, and then I went with Zalal, and now that Gomi lost to Sabatini, I thought you were going to go there and have the new thing. So I'm going with James Miller. What a performance. Just goes out there and just bulldog chokes. Poor Jared Gordon. Not giving him Conor McGregor, but I'm going to give him a chance to get Conor McGregor. Win, lose, or draw. June 14th. UFC White House, Jim Miller versus Michael Chandler is the next fight.
Wow.
You're welcome. Warren.
Wow.
You're so welcome. That fight rules. I'm so excited about this.
Wow. Speechless. I love it. I'd never considered it at any point during, since Michael Chandler has been in the UFC. Had not considered it. But
that is age appropriate matchmaking. This is what watching Michael Chandler fight Mauricio Huffy is gonna hurt my soul in so many ways. But this fight is just gonna warm all of our hearts at the same time. And I think coming off of this result and people being so salty about how UFC 328 went through and ended and people's opinions on stuff, we need a Jim Miller, Michael Chandler. Just the idea of that fight floating around the world to warm our hearts a little bit, and that's what we're getting. Jim Miller versus Michael Chandler. So thank you so much.
Man, I love Jim Miller.
He's the man.
He's the best.
Dude is the man. So shout out to Scott McCrate, by the way, member for 41 months.
Man, big shout. We love you, Scott. We love you, Scott.
We love you, Scott. Okay, let's go. Bring us your picks.
Oh, yes. Let me tell the people here, this is your time. Stop trolling and actually send in fight picks.
Yeah. Be here for what the show is all about. Here we go. Let's see. Here we go. Gerard. Strickland Imavov 2, Chimaev Ankalaev for the first 205 fight.
I saw people saying that. Did Ankalaev call for it or something? He's called out Chimaev. He did trash talk.
First of all, Ankalaev doesn't call anybody out. Somebody out.
What do you mean?
Else Ali do it for him.
What do you mean?
If I'm Ali, I'm probably staying away from Khamzat Chimaev. Tyre versus the Asu Johnson winner. Volkov Hokit. Lewis winner. WCA Blades. Yeah, that makes sense. Brady JDM. Green Ribovich. Gautier Bekayev. Amasov Bonfim Bilal loser. Dawson Klein. Miller, CDF, Jimmy Suss versus Vieira.
Why are they doing for Rodolfo? For Rodolfo, yeah. Why don't?
Dude,
don't
what
do
we
do?
Like, what do
Leave
we
Rodolfo
do with
alone.
James? What do we do with Mr. Sishikaya? Because I told Jed this on the post fight show. I'm getting Muhammad Makhayev vibes so bad from Jimmy Suss. It's not even funny.
He's a talented young man. Mike.
But he's afraid to hurt people, and he's giving guys he should be minus 4,000 favorites over chances to beat him.
Yeah.
It's very frustrating to watch a guy that talented like struggle against the Jordan Santoses of the world. It's a little strange.
He's only 25. He's only 25.
You know,
he's a little baby.
Go hurt some people. I mean, come on. Go hurt some people.
Go break some hearts.
Yeah, break some hearts, break an arm, do something. Like, get people excited. I kind of want him, like, if you're invested in Jimmy Suss, I think I kind of am coming off Contender Series. I want him to lose a fight. I want him to lose his next fight. I think if anybody, he needs to lose. He needs to lose, and then I think we're going to get the real James Suss. But we're just not there, man. He's got to lose a fight. He needs to be humbled a little bit.
And you say this out of love, obviously.
Yes.
You say this out of love.
As a guy who I think could be a champion in this division at some point, just not now. Like I have no confidence. I have no confidence that he beats a lot of guys, but I almost like don't want to give him a step up at all until he shows that he's willing to go out there and hurt some people. So, because trust me, I was a guy on a lot of the shows like, not is Muhammad Makhayev going to win the flyweight belt, he's going to win the bantamweight belt. When he got signed to the UFC, I thought it was going to be like a clear-cut, easy 2-division champion. And then he decided, I don't want to hurt anybody. He turned into Damian Maia. Tristan likes Grant Dawson versus Ludwig Klein.
How'd you feel about Grant on Saturday, Mike? We saw a little bit of the whole Grant Dawson experience, and actually quite a lot of the Mateusz Rebecki experience, not necessarily in a good way, unfortunately.
Yeah, that was a super weird fight because Grant came out and kicked him right in the face and busted him open immediately. And then the rest of the first round was like very quintessential Grant Dawson, had the backpack on. It was just like, okay, this is what Grant does. And then Rebecki hurt him bad in round 2. I'm like, all you have to do is punch him like 3 more times and you win. And Rebecki's like, no, I'm just going to grapple with him, which I thought was super strange. And then Grant Dawson went out there and finished him. Like, good win for Grant. I like Grant a lot. He's probably not a guy who's going to fight for a title or anything like that, but clearly a talented grappler. And just hearing the story of everything that happened in his personal life just broke my heart. It sucks, especially the day before Mother's Day.
Crazy.
To share that stuff, it really sucks. So I don't really even have the words. I feel so bad for them. And, good on Grant for going out there and fighting after dealing with and getting this news 5 days earlier. I don't know how he did it. I really don't. So respect tenfold for Grant Dawson. This is a great win. Rebecki, I don't know. He's so fun though that he might just have a job forever. But you got at some point, you could be fun, but you have to show some sort of fight IQ, and he didn't show it. It's super strange, but good win for Grant. Really needed it, and lightweight's best division in the sport. Thank you, Armand. Winners from 328. Sean Imavov 2, Van Pants 2, Volkov Pavlovich. Pavic
That's
books?
a 2. That's a 2. I'll say, Harman, you missed a 2. That's a 2.
Brady Emsov, Green Miller, Ateba versus Vittori. Boy, that could get real middleweighty. We could get super middleweight. We could get real Polaify real quick with that.
Take the over. Take the over, by the way.
Yeah.
Costa's not getting knocked out ever.
Wild card pick: Jimmy Suss versus Kelvin Gastelum.
But that's not what you're looking for, because I think he would still beat Kelvin.
I think he'd beat Kelvin too.
Yeah, that's not the learning moment you're hoping he gets in a fight.
No, it would just be we should have already cut this guy, but we'll keep him around for one more to go fight this other kid that we really like. Let Kelvin fly. Like, let him spread his wings outside of the UFC. Let him go to BKFC and fight Mike Perry. Let him go to Misfits Boxing. Let him do something else, please. He needs it. He needs it in his life. Rob, Brady to Bilal if he beats Bonfim. Give Buckley to Malott.
Brady to Bilal if he beat Rob. What are we doing? That's a 2. That's a 2. And I mean, I'm not saying that's a rematch that shouldn't happen, but timing feels weird for it.
They're definitely not going to do Buckley Malott, because Malott gains nothing from that fight. And the UFC has to push him. They have to give Malott, they have to give him something big. They have to do, like, this is it. If you're going to make him the face of Canadian MMA, like, you've got to put him in a position where he fights for a belt. Like, you give Malott JDM, give him a former champion, give him Leon, give him, I mean, Colby, I don't know if has the same cachet at this point. Like, Kamaru Usman would be perfect, but, like, I don't think they're going to do that, nor would I think Usman would even consider taking that fight. So Buckley, I just don't think that's a good one there.
Malott's gonna have a hard time finding fights after the way Gilbert framed it, because Gilbert's whole, I'm telling you, the worst, because every fighter's gonna go in their mind now, going like, boy, I cannot lose this guy, because if I lose this guy, obviously, and frankly, like, I don't like Buckley. Obviously, he's not as old as Gilbert Burns, but like we said, he's kind of out of the contender picture now, and I do wonder what a loss to Malott would like have him thinking about his career. He's like, where the hell am I going here? So we would just. My boy Malott's gonna be catching a lot of like secondhand strays here, just because everyone now views him as like, what's the opposite of a stepping stone? It's like, I don't know. I gotta find a phrase for this, but yeah, apparently this career heat check.
It's the look in the mirror. He's the ultimate look.
He's the look in Mike the Mirror Malott. Oh my guys, let's make this a thing. Chat, you know what to do. Tell your friends. Go on your socials. Mike the Mirror Malott. Yes, you must confront yourself. You're not confronting Mike Malott when you fight Mike Malott. You're confronting yourself and your combat sports mortality, apparently.
Oh my God, that is sad. Incredible.
Oh boy,
we got there. It's
better than Proper. Sorry, Mike Malott. Proper is just no one cares about that name. I'm sorry.
John likes Buckley JDM. Solar Serpent likes Brady JDM. He likes Buckley Malott. Okay. Amosov versus Medic. Gauthier versus Belgary.
Ooh, you guys want to watch out for the Belgary is like getting slept on. I feel like. I think he is being slept on. He is good. He is actually like a good middleweight. But maybe they want to test Ateba though, so maybe that's why.
We just did, and people didn't like it. He got tested by a pretty good guy, and people didn't like it because he didn't kill him in 60 seconds. So then they course corrected and they gave Ozzy Diaz, and took him a minute, but he did what everyone wanted to see him do. So TK Stan, Costa versus Chimaev, winner gets a title shot next year. Maybe. Hammy, Van versus Horiguchi. We're just giving him. We're just pulling him. We're pulling Gooch from the cop fight.
I think they're with me. Like, they mean like win or lose or draw, I assume, after the cop fight.
And then Van Pants, right? After Van Pants happens.
Sure.
We're looking into the future. We're predicting winners here.
Yeah, that's what people do here.
Solar Serpent, Chimaev up to 205 to fight Prochazka for the interim belt. Strickland Ivov 2, Van Pantoja 2, Tyra versus a Cop Horiguchi winner. Volkov gone 2 after the Pereira loss. Waldo versus Hokit after Lewis wins.
Oh, wow. Some real prognosticating here. Okay.
Jed and I were breaking down if there's any post-fight show they'll ever top UFC 293 when Sean Strickland beat Israel Adesanya to become the middleweight champion. And we've decided that there's only one that can happen that will ever equal or come close to that. UFC White House. If all the fun things happen, like Gaethje knocks out Topuria, Gon wins a tepid decision. Dawkins knocks out Bo Nickel. Derek Lewis knocks out Josh Hokett. Eamon Sahabi knocks out Sean O'Malley. If like all the funny things happen, and then, you know, Diego Lopez, Steve Garcia, we don't really put into question in this conversation because that fight's just going to rule, and everyone's just going to be happy for those 15 minutes or less that fight's happening. So, yeah, UFC White House could really do the thing. Duke Mad Dog, Amosov, Brady, Buckley, or Morales? I'd go Brady.
Who was Morales fighting next? I'm very curious to see who. Like, I don't know. He's got to get an opponent. I'm not sure. Him
and Usman would be perfect. Him and Usman would be perfect. If Usman's staying at 170, he fights Michael Morales or nobody else.
This is such classic, like, modern UFC, and it might be Morales' fault, so I don't want to criticize the matchmakers necessarily. I don't know. Maybe it's Morales that hasn't been able to sign on, but like November, I know it's not long ago, but man, is there anything to be said about like guys like helping guys keep buzz and momentum? Like they just disappear for so long after these huge wins. So like the man he beat, Sean Brady, just scored a huge win, right? On a pay-per-view. Where the hell's Michael Morales? Where the hell is he? Damn.
Should be fighting for the belt.
That's crazy, man.
He should be fighting Islam Makhachev. No disrespect to Ian Machado Gary, but Michael Morales should be getting the title shot. So you're going to make that monster of a man weigh in as the backup, make him cut friggin' 45 pounds.
Don't do that.
Craziness. Horiguchi would obliterate Vance's.
Oh. I'd love to find out. I'd love to find out. I really want to see that
fight. We
could
get there. Ooh, interesting. Cooking Combat. Ochoa versus Kaikar, France.
That's a huge step up. Cooking
he
Combat.
He looked great last night, by the way.
Yeah.
Shout out to Ochoa. DC was just like, yeah, man. He's like Carlos Praches out there. I'm like, maybe we're a little soon on that. Maybe we're a little soon on that comp. Come on now. He beat Clayton Carpenter.
And I've seen Carlos Praches compared to Anderson Silva. So are we saying Ochoa's like only a few degrees of separation away from Anderson Silva? Because I'll accept that. My Peruvian boy, I gotta support. But
yeah, no, he was really good. And
that's a lot too soon, though.
Yeah,
Cooking Combat's been criticizing my picks all show, and you're throwing him in there with Kaikar.
He must have really appreciated what Ochoa did last night.
I love Ochoa. He's 2-2 in the UFC, bro. He's 2-2 in the. What are we doing? You throwing in there with a top 15 guy? What's going on? I would love to see it.
Are we just doing Morales Praches? Is that what we're doing?
Yeah, yes. Just do it now.
Kind of might have to.
Love it.
I don't like that I don't like them doing it now. Truly don't.
I know, but I want to see it someday, and I'm greedy. You know me, it's like I'd love to see things for No More Contender or like with it 5 rounds of it, but it's just like if I can get it now, just give it to me now.
Michael wants to see Jimmy Suss get beat 30-27 by Iron Turtle. Hey, listen, Iron Turtle was supposed to be fighting Edmund Shabazian. If Iron Turtle didn't go and get hurt, we wouldn't be getting Brennan Allen, Edmund Shabazian. So.
That'd be a huge test.
Yeah.
That'd be a huge test.
What else you got? Cooking Combat. Rebetsky versus... Ooh. Okay. This is perfect, by the way.
Respect.
What have I been saying for so... Like, this could be the main event of Dana White's Contender Series, Season 8, Episode 2. Like, fights like this should be headlining Contender Series. Winner stays, loser's gone.
Ooh.
Like, that's a perfect one
yes.
for the stakes of what I think could improve Contender Series moving forward. Because we're seeing... Don't get me wrong, there are some very talented fighters that come out of there. But we're seeing some of the matchups that are being made for this upcoming season of Contender Series, and we're just like, whoa. We're not allowing Pumi Nakuda to fight in the UFC, but we're going to give this person a chance. Like, there's a whole bunch of that going on already. So let's just make it some fun. What else we got? D-Rod versus Buckley from John Shin. I don't mind that one.
Yeah, D-Rod needs a fight.
Ooh, I really like this one. Buckley versus Jacoby Smith. I like this one.
Wow.
I think this is kind of where we should go with Buckley right now. Let's just give him a shot.
Jacoby's
somebody else.
Is he the one? He's not like super young. He's in his late 20s. Like he's in his prime already, right? He's not like super young. Oh, he's 30. Oh, interesting. Yeah, I guess
he's right smack in the middle of it.
Yeah, I guess you don't really need to slow roll him that much longer. Oh yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Love it.
Buckley Holland 2.
We've called it for this a lot. I think the moment might have passed though. I think the moment might have passed.
Someone messaged me on Instagram. I can't pull up the name right now because my phone's kind of far away from me, but Mictebek Oralby versus Joaquin Buckley. And I'm just like, man, poor Buckley. He gets Usman, Brady, and Oralby and back-to-back
Yeah, that's not going to
fights.
go. That's not going to go well for him. Unless
Golly.
again, he goes back into the lab with Kamaru and really, really tightens up this wrestling defense. But we just have seen no evidence that like it's ever going to get to the level where he can stop the best grapplers at 170. So it's unfortunate. I mean, this is how life is. You know?
So nothing came of the betting line movement on the Brady fight last night. Nothing at all. Truly nothing.
That was weird.
Brady said he got a call. I guess the integrity service flagged it. The UFC called Brady. You all good? He said, yep. And they're like, all right, bet. And he went in there and fought and destroyed Joaquin Buckley.
I hope people aren't getting fake leaks, right? Because that's sort of one of the assumptions we assume. For example, that whatever happened with the Alexander Hernandez fight, and he didn't get in any trouble because we're thinking maybe someone was just at the gym or someone knows someone at the gym, and like there's some broken telephone where someone's saying, "Oh, I saw this person walking funny," that gets passed along, blah blah. It turns into this like betting virus thing. I hope that people aren't doing this on purpose. I hope there's not someone who has like some small degree of credibility or whatever in his fighting community, and he's leaking that out to get the odds to move and stuff. This is really scary stuff, like that these odds can shift like that. And again, it may be nothing. But people were saying with Tim Elliott and Usyk too, right? Wasn't like Tim Elliott. I don't remember the movement there. I don't think it was as dramatic, but I remember for the Elliott Usyk fight, people said something was up. So, and I think the result turned out to be what was sort of initially expected. So yeah, scary stuff, guys. Be careful out there in those betting streets. I don't know what's going on.
The Usyk Elliott one was, it was noticeable, but it wasn't bad. Like this one was crazy. I looked at it at 1 p.m. after I brought my kid back from golf practice. 1 p.m. Brady was still like a minus 180 favorite. I went and took a shower and came out like 30 minutes later, and Buckley was the favorite. And then I went back and looked at it an hour later, and Sean Brady was a plus 160 underdog. And then I looked another 30 minutes later, and Brady was a plus 190 underdog, and they pulled all the props.
What happened in that shower, Mike? Who'd you call?
I didn't call anybody.
I said someone. You know what, guys? I wasn't trying to call Mike out. I was hit someone with influence in the MMA sphere. Could be anyone. I don't know if we got people. My best friend. You're not sending out fake tips, are you? And shifting betting lines. No. You would never do such a thing. No, I sure you would never do such a thing. I mean, the amount of money I bet on these fights, it's barely enough to get a Dunkin' Donuts coffee. So, I ain't influencing shit. I can tell you that right now. Armand, do we still get a UFC Japan by the end of 2027? No.
I'm also saying no, unless they want to pay money, and they're not going to pay money. So I'll say no.
I would have to think they would have, if it was in the works, they would have saved Kopp and Horiguchi. I want to believe that. I want to believe they would have saved Kopp, Horiguchi, and when they realized they weren't going to Japan, they just said, screw it. Just throw them wherever.
Yeah. Crazy.
Still makes me angry.
All right, a couple more. Sean Imavov 2 from Joseph, Van Pants 2, Volk Spivak, Brady JDM, King versus Money, Pat Sabatini, Kevin Vallejos. Oh my God!
I thought about it. I knew it would get that reaction though. But no.
Valle. Yeah, Kevin, great win in your first weight event. You're rapidly becoming a star. You know what we're gonna do? We're gonna give you Pat Sabatini at UFC 330 in Philly. How about that? No way. Come on now. Come on, Vallejos is like. He's got to be fighting somebody way up in the ladder here. He's probably like 2 wins away from fighting for a title right now. We can't do that. Can't do that. UFC Africa schedule. Maybe not. There we go. I bet on Brady like minus 170. Thought what a great line. Then he goes to plus 200. Yeah.
Oh.
You know what's funny about that? I had like the exact opposite reaction to all of this because I was like, I didn't know how to go with it. I was like, Brady's going to win. I'm pretty confident in that, but like maybe he gets knocked out. I was like, well, worst case, like Buckley will win a round, right? So I just took a point spread bet on Buckley, and I was like, even with the line movement, I was like, either way, like I'm in. They're not going to take this bet away from me. And boy, was I wrong. That was a terrible bet. I mean, just terrible bet. Really bad. Really, really bad.
Mike, let me read one from Instagram. Normally I wouldn't, but this is a newcomer, and they felt very bashful when I told them like, oh, we don't normally read viewer suggestions on live, but it's their first time. Welcome to the party, pal. ACM. They sent in what they're calling an inaugural experimental Otno post. Okay. Khamzat at light heavyweight versus Paulo Costa. Sure, everyone wants it. Sean Strickland versus the winner Okay, they're speculating DDP Imavov at 329. Okay, I don't know, but I haven't heard about that. I don't know, but gets the winner of that fight. Strickland DDP trilogy. Gosh, I don't know. For Joshua Van Pantoja 2, Tatsuro Taira deserves a second shot at Van. Due to the slightly early stoppage. In the meantime, I think Lonnie Kavanaugh would be fun. If not, then Brandon Royval too. I don't know if the timing of any of those makes sense for Tyra, but
Kavanaugh Royval makes sense. That makes sense.
Kavanaugh, yes, not Kavanaugh and Tyra. I don't think I want to see that yet. Lastly, King Green wants someone ranked. He asked for Renato Moicano, but I don't think Moicano takes that fight. So why not give him Beneil Dariush a ranked age-appropriate match if he hasn't retired or changed weight classes? ACM, we are on the same page. You did a great job with your first picks. Thank you so much.
Okay. I think we have accomplished everything we wanted to accomplish here.
Yes.
Next week's show is going to be kind of weird because we're coming off of 2 events. The UFC one, by far the least important one.
Well, we're matchmaking for MVP MMA.
Are we?
I mean, all those people are definitely going to fight again.
We will be, we will definitely matchmake for that. No doubt about it.
By the way, I apologize to everyone who watched the Rousey Carano countdown and saw my face pop up for half a second.
Spectacular.
I was not aware. Someone, my family sent told me I'm apparently in it. And I was like, why do I keep getting included in these things?
So what was it? You just saying the fight was insane?
It's a half a second. Yes, this is insane. That's it. They could have gotten anybody. I don't know why I get thrown in there. So anyone who watches, you see me pop up, I apologize in advance.
So this is the MVP card right here. We are doing a watch party next week. Don't you worry. Rousey Corrado, Diaz Perry, slated as the second to last fight right now, as the current lineup sits, I believe. Ngannou Lins, Parnas versus Kenneth Cross, Junior Dos Santos versus Rebelis de Spain. That's the main card on Netflix. Prior to that, on the MVP YouTube channel, we'll have Namo Fazil versus Jake Babian, Adriano Moraes versus Pumi Nakuda, Jason Jackson versus Jeff Creighton, David Mogoyan versus Albert Morales. Cannot wait for that fight, by the way. I think that's going to be super fun. Eileen Pereira, the actual sister of Alex Pereira, fighting Jade Masan Wong, who you may know from BKFC.
From Canada.
From Canada as well.
You may know from Canada.
And Chris Avila is fighting on this card against Brandon Jenkins. That is how it's all kicking off. That's the MVP card.
I hate how this became a real MMA card. I'm so disappointed. So disappointed. I think we did an early write-up, like what's the best case scenario for this lineup or something. We were all just like, please, just chaos. Like, don't put any and you know, to some degree, they're not like super legitimate, like, up and coming prospect fights. It is like, you know, Chris Avila, friend of Nate Diaz, stuff like that. Aileen Pereira, you know, good fighter, but also Alex Pereira's sister. Like, I understand why they put certain names on there, but it just feels the card should have been like six or seven fights, just goofy names. Like, why did they try to make an actual MMA card? I don't like that.
Yeah. I mean, I get what they're trying to do somewhat. Like, Parnas is going to destroy Kenneth Cross.
Yeah.
Like, he is going to have a highlight reel of all highlight reels in that one. And I like Kenny Cross. Like, he's fun, but he's going to get badly finished by Parnas. JDS Despain could be really fun. Like, that fight could end very violently, or JDS could just tackle him, and we could get real heavyweighty real fast there. Fasil Baby, I think, is going to be really fun. Moraes Nkuda is going to be really fun.
There's too many fights. This sounds like a UFC card. I didn't want a UFC card.
There's 11 fights.
Oh,
yeah, there are 11 fights.
Oh, wait a minute. This is like I feel like I'm at the Apex. Speaking of which,
it's a 6-9er, by the way.
Fine.
A 6-9er.
Fine.
Not the end of the world. But hopefully the pacing is not what MVP cards typically are, because then we're going to have a problem. And then over on the UFC, at the world's most famous Apex. This is just a bad card. Skip this one. Main event's really good, though.
You can't say that, Mike.
Arlel Melky Costa.
Love it.
Yeah. Sorry, Michael Bisping. This card on paper is poop.
Come after us.
It's very poop. It's very poopy. Alan Costa is a great fight, though. Really good. It's got stakes. It matters. Duho Choi, Daniel Santos is the co-main event. Malcolm Wellmaker, Juan Diaz. Fine fight, but okay. Modestas Bukauskas, Hidalgo Bellato. Timmy Kwamba, Bernardo Serpai.
I like that. I like Serpai.
That's not bad.
Glad to see Serpai back. Yeah.
Veretennikov, Chaos Williams. I mean, these are essentially like opening prelim fights for any fight night out of the Apex. Then we got, Tuco Tokos versus Ivan Urslan.
We certainly do.
Tommy Gantz, who I like, by the way, versus Trey Ogden. We got women's bantamweights, AK. You were wondering if we were getting him.
I was about to ask you.
Ketlin Vieira versus Jacqueline Cavalcanti.
That's not the main card. This is a ranked.
No.
Come on, guys. Come on.
That Vieira Cavalcanti is following Andre Petrosky versus Cody Brundage.
They haven't fought 5 times already. You're lying. This is like a first time these guys have fought.
No. And
No,
then we got Alice Ardelean
Oh,
versus
yeah.
Polyana Viana.
That's the stuff.
15 losses, by the way, combined between those two ladies. 11-7 versus 13-8.
Resilient, Mike.
Speaking of resilient, Daniel Barres with his 7 losses taking on Luis Garul. And no better way to kick this card off than Nicole Cagliari versus Shauna Bannon. That is UFC Vegas. What is this, 117?
Good stuff.
Yowzer.
Good stuff.
So yeah,
I'm
I
into
think
it.
we know what you're going to be watching on the main TV. But look, like I said, Costa Allen is a really good fight. That's a good main event. So, but the rest of this card, youch.
We'll do definitely some post MVP MMA prognosticating. Obviously, we're not going to do like a top down the winners matchups, but I think you and I will have some discussion like where do they go from here? When's the next time they'll probably have a show? Like what's the future for? Right, we could do a little bit of no themed discussion, right? For Rousey versus
I think.
Ronda.
Oh yeah, it's going to be the story of the week.
Sure.
We're going to be talking about what comes out of MVP for a week, more than likely.
My best friend
Macau's after that.
2 weeks after, yeah. My best friend, some would say we don't even need to do matches for UFC Vegas. What in 170? What is 117?
Yes. Why is that?
I'm
not
just
do
saying because he's not doing it. There's only so many hours in the day, Mike. There's only so many hours in the day.
But the peeps.
You're telling me I'm gonna have to come up with a matchup for the winner of Modestas Bukauskas and Adolfo Bellato and Malcolm Wellmaker versus Juan Diaz. This is what you're telling me. I these are main card fights. I have to match up one of these 4 gentlemen, or 2 of these 4 gentlemen.
Yes, you sure do.
Okay.
You missed out on UFC 328 coverage. So yes, you can make a
This is
match
my-
for Modestas fucking
This
Bukauskas.
is my penance. This is my penance.
Your recompense, AK.
You know, you're a harsh master. You know, you're trying to teach me and Jimmy Suss. You just want the best for us.
Yeah.
Okay.
Come on, Jimmy. Just go hurt somebody, please.
Yeah.
Please, I know you got it in you. Producer's playing us off, AK. We're done.
Good.
Thank you very much. Appreciate you guys. Hopping in. I know we started a little bit late. We had some tech issues. The host site was like, we have so much traffic right now. You wouldn't even believe it. So we can't even let you in here. But listen, whether you agree with our takes, disagree with our takes, who gives a shit at the end of the day? We're all part of this weird, wacky community of mixed martial arts. And, 328 happened. There's things to talk about for the next few days. And that's really all we ask for with some of these cards, is that we can continue some discourse in the days following said event. I don't think we're going to get that coming out of UFC Vegas 117. We're probably going to get it with the MVP card. Jose will be boots on the ground there. We'll have all your coverage for the MVP card. We'll have everything. And that's it. So get ready for another big week. And the most important thing of all, ladies and gentlemen, on this Sunday, happy Mother's Day to all the moms out there, all the grandmoms out there. Keep doing the damn thing. You're the true heroes, the true MVPs, and we're out of here. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday.